Are you unknowingly contributing to your dog becoming overweight? Canine obesity has become a silent epidemic affecting millions of dogs around the world. Recent studies show that more than 50% of domestic pets are above their ideal weight, an alarming number that continues to grow year after year. This excess weight is not just an aesthetic issue. It drastically compromises the quality of life of our companions, reducing their life expectancy by up to 2 years and significantly increasing the risk of serious diseases such as diabetes, heart, and joint problems. What most concerns veterinarians is that most pet owners don't notice when their dogs are gradually gaining weight. Unlike humans who can weigh themselves daily and notice changes in the mirror, pets develop obesity in a subtle and progressive way. That fluffy coat hides fat accumulation, and many owners interpret a chubby dog as synonymous with health and well-being. The situation is aggravated because our modern lifestyle habits end up being transferred to pets. Just as we have become more sedentary and consume more processed foods, our dogs have also started living in smaller apartments with less physical activity and receiving an unbalanced diet. The difference is that they depend entirely on our choices to maintain a healthy weight. They cannot decide to go on a diet or exercise more on their own. Today, we're going to reveal the 5 most common feeding mistakes that are making dogs obese and how to avoid them. Mistake number 4 is the most unusual and important to avoid, as many pet owners don't even imagine the real impact it causes. Mistake 1. Giving human food to the dog. This is probably the most common and dangerous mistake we observe on a daily basis. That begging look during lunch, the leftovers from the plate that would be wasteful to throw away, or even that little piece of cake on a birthday, all of this contributes to a much bigger problem than we imagine. Human foods are formulated for our nutritional needs and taste patterns, not for those of dogs. They contain excessive amounts of salt, saturated fats, refined sugars, and chemical additives that the canine organism is not prepared to process adequately. A simple slice of pizza, which for us represents just a casual meal, can contain the equivalent of 30% of the daily calories needed for a medium-sized dog. The consequences go far beyond weight gain. Excess fat can trigger acute pancreatitis, an extremely painful and potentially fatal condition. The high sodium content overloads the kidneys and can lead to hypertension. Refined sugars create blood glucose spikes that, over time, can evolve into canine diabetes, a chronic disease that requires daily insulin treatment. The solution is simple, but requires discipline. Completely replace human treats with dog-specific treats. Carrots cut into sticks, apple pieces without seeds, or even ice cubes can be healthy and refreshing alternatives that satisfy the desire to please without compromising your pet's health. Mistake 2. Overdoing the amount of kibble. Filling the bowl until it looks full is a practice as common as it is harmful. Many pet owners develop the habit of serving kibble based solely on the visual appearance of the container, without any scientific or nutritional criteria. This intuitive approach completely ignores the animal's specific caloric needs, which vary drastically according to age, size, activity level, and individual metabolism. Overfeeding is an insidious process. The difference between the ideal amount and excess may seem minimal on a daily basis, perhaps just 20 or 30 grams more per meal. However, this small daily excess transforms into hundreds of extra calories per week, thousands per month. For a 22-pound dog, 2 ounces extra kibble per day represents approximately 150 additional calories, equivalent to a human consuming an extra hamburger daily. The solution lies in precision. Invest in a specific measuring cup for kibble, or even better, in a digital kitchen scale. Always consult the nutritional table on the kibble package and adjust quantities according to the manufacturer's guidelines and veterinary recommendations. Remember, the table considers the animal's ideal weight, not necessarily the current weight if it's already obese. Establish a rigorous measuring routine. Always measure the same amount at the same time using the same utensil. This consistency not only controls weight, but also helps create a healthy feeding routine that reduces anxiety and begging behavior in the animal. Mistake 3. Free feeding kibble. The always full bowl available 24 hours a day is a practice that many consider convenient, but which is actually a nutritional trap. This approach, known as ad libitum feeding, ignores a fundamental difference between dogs and humans. Our pets do not possess the same self-regulation feeding mechanism that we developed throughout evolution. In nature, the ancestors of dogs hunted in groups and needed to consume large amounts of food when the opportunity arose because they didn't know when the next meal would be. This instinct remains active in domestic dogs, causing many to eat not only when they feel hungry, but also out of boredom, anxiety, or simply because food is available. Sedentary dogs, especially those that spend long hours alone at home, frequently develop the habit of eating for entertainment. The act of chewing becomes an activity that fills time and relieves anxiety, similar to what happens with humans who eat compulsively during periods of stress. The alternative is to establish fixed times for meals, ideally twice a day for adult dogs. This routine brings multiple benefits. It allows precise control of the amount consumed, facilitates digestion, reduces food-related anxiety, and strengthens the trust relationship between owner and pet. The animal learns that it will receive food at specific times, reducing begging behaviors and food anxiety. Mistake 4. Excessive treats. This is the most unusual and important mistake to avoid, as many pet owners drastically underestimate the caloric impact of treats in the canine diet. Those innocent little cookies given during training, recreational bones, snacks offered as demonstrations of affection, all accumulate silently but devastatingly. A single commercial dog biscuit can contain between 20 to 50 calories. For a small 11-pound dog, which needs approximately 300 calories daily, 3 biscuits already represent 30% of its total caloric need. Imagine offering 10 or 15 treats throughout the day, a common practice in homes where multiple people feed the same animal or during intensive training sessions. The problem is aggravated because we rarely account for these extras. We carefully measure the kibble, but completely ignore the rewards and treats. It's as if a person followed a strict diet during main meals, but constantly snacked on sweets and chips between them, without recognizing that these small indulgences can easily double daily caloric consumption. The solution requires a mindset change. Treat treats as an integral part of the diet, not as extras. If your dog needs 400 calories daily, consider that 350 will come from kibble and only 50 from treats. Opt for low-calorie alternatives, carrot pieces, cooked broccoli, or even the kibble itself used as a reward during training. Your dog doesn't distinguish whether the reward is a commercial biscuit or a kibble grain. What matters is the positive moment of interaction. Mistake 5. Not adjusting the diet to activity level. This mistake reveals a fundamental misunderstanding about how canine metabolism works throughout life. Many pet owners establish a feeding routine when the dog is young and active, maintaining exactly the same amount and type of kibble for years, regardless of changes in routine, age, or physical condition of the animal. Spaying, neutering, for example, significantly reduces the basal metabolic rate. Neutered dogs may need up to 30% fewer calories than intact animals. Elderly dogs naturally decrease their activity level and muscle mass, requiring specific nutritional adjustments. Animals recovering from surgeries or injuries go through periods of lower physical activity, but frequently continue receiving the same amount of food as when they were completely active. Changes in the owner's lifestyle also directly impact the pet. A dog accustomed to long daily walks may suddenly find itself confined to quick walks due to the owner's busy schedule. If feeding is not adjusted proportionally, the caloric excess inevitably transforms into body fat. The solution involves constant monitoring and proactive adjustments. Light kibbles, or age-specific ones, senior kibbles, have lower caloric density and higher fiber content, promoting satiety with lower energy input. In parallel, it's fundamental to compensate for the reduction in spontaneous physical activity with directed stimuli, mental games, fetch games inside the house, or more frequent walks, even if shorter. Other factors that aggravate the condition. Sedentary lifestyle represents a vicious cycle in canine obesity. Overweight dogs tire more easily, leading to an even greater reduction in physical activity, which in turn accelerates weight gain. The lack of regular walks not only reduces caloric expenditure, but also deprives the animal of mental stimuli fundamental to its well-being. Pet owner misinformation perpetuates the problem. Many don't know that small dogs need proportionally more calories per pound of body weight than large dogs, or that the recommended amount on the kibble package is just an initial reference that should be adjusted individually. The health impact is devastating. Cardiovascular diseases, early arthritis, diabetes, respiratory problems, and a significant reduction in life expectancy. Obese dogs live, on average, 2 years less than dogs with ideal weight, and spend their last years with drastically reduced quality of life. Your dog depends exclusively on you to live longer and better. Every feeding decision you make today determines your companion's health and longevity tomorrow. Change can begin immediately. Measure kibble with precision, reduce by half the amount of treats offered daily, and establish fixed times for meals. These 3 simple adjustments can reverse years of harmful habits and put your pet on the path to a longer and healthier life. Remember that obesity is not a problem that resolves overnight. Just as weight gain was gradual, loss should also be. Ideally, your dog should lose between 1% to 2% of body weight per week, a safe goal that preserves muscle mass while eliminating fat. Always consult your veterinarian before starting any drastic change in feeding, especially if your pet already shows severe obesity or other health conditions. Transforming this knowledge into daily habits is the real challenge. Set reminders on your phone for meal times. Always keep the measuring cup next to the kibble bag, and resist that begging face your dog makes during your meals. Every no to an extra treat is a yes to more years of healthy life alongside your best friend. The reward for this discipline will be seeing your companion more active, playful, and happy for much longer. Comment below which of these mistakes you've already made and what you're going to change starting today.